Bonjour et bienvenue à Gourmet, the channel where I cook my way through all the cookbooks I own and have never used. We are still working with Mastering the Art of French Cooking by Julia Child, where we'll be making Jambon Farci en Croûte, or I get it's a braised ham with mushroom stuffing, and then we're gonna cover it and cook it in pastry dough. So I kind of wanted to make this because it feels like kind of a play on Beef Wellington, and I thought it could be interesting. I've never done something like this before, and I've never had anything like this before. So I wanted to try it. Let's get started. Okay, so to start, we're gonna just saute our vegetables for the braising liquid real quick. I have 1.5 onions. Mostly, the half onion is not necessarily needed, but I had it in the fridge, and I thought, why not use it? And then we have just regular baby stick carrots from when I thought I was going to be healthy and try to eat them with ranch. That's still on the table, but not going as well as I had hoped. But we're just getting these vegetables ready. This ham is going to be stuffed with mushrooms and foie gras or pate, and which I wasn't going to stuff with pate, but then I ran by Fresh Market on my way home from dance class and thought, you know what, I'm passing right by it anyway, so I might as well go look to see if they have some, and they did. And then I lost my train of thought. So, oh, that's a bad piece of onion. Let's get that out. Get that out. And get that out. Okay, so we're stuffing. Let's get back on track. We are stuffing the ham with mushrooms and foie gras, and then we're braising it in wine, Madeira wine, with onions and carrots for a couple hours. And then once it's braised, we're gonna let it cool, and then stuff it, wrap it in a crust, and put it in the oven. And it says I just need 1 sliced carrot. So like last time, I'm just taking some sticks and I'm just approximating maybe what a carrot would be. I'm going to call that a day. And I'm just going to chop these like so. Nothing special. This goes in braising liquid again, so I don't even know how much we're going to use the braising liquid afterwards. I think we'll make a sauce with it, but it's not going to be much. So I'm going to turn this on. I just have some of the ghee in the bottom. Now, it doesn't say to, but out of habit, because I want to, I'm just going to salt and pepper these really quick. Not much. And then once these are nice and sauteed, we're just going to set them to the side. We are getting ready for our to make the stuffing of our ham. I have 2 pounds of these just pre-washed, pre-sliced white mushrooms. I'm just going to dump some of them out. But what we need to do is chop them up pretty small, and then we're going to put them in this bowl once they're chopped small. The reason I have it lined with a paper towel is because once we have all the mushrooms in here, we're going to squeeze the paper towel together and try to get out as much of the mushroom moisture as possible. So yeah, I'm just gonna run my knife through little by little. All I did was open the package and they're already like oxidizing. But we want pretty small pieces of mushrooms. So I'm just gonna run my knife through. And if I don't get super small pieces, I personally am not too worried. I know somebody better than me would be. But I'm going to get as small as I want and then call it a day. Thank God I don't have to mince any more mushrooms, and I didn't even do that great of a job like that, but I'm leaving that in there. I did wring these out. Not a lot of water came out, so I think that's just because I didn't wash them fresh, like they are store-bought mushrooms, but this is what it is. Now, what we're going to add to this is a 1/2 cup of minced shallots or green onions. So I just took this from my garden, and I just have this little green onion. I'm not going to mince it. This is all getting cooked down anyways, so I will try to chop it a little smaller. But it's going to be this is as big as we're getting. I can never mince again. I hated that whole thing. It took entirely way too long. So I learned something about myself just then. Don't ever ask me to mince anything. I guess I'll mince garlic, but even that, I've used store-bought on this channel, so even minced garlic I'm not really willing to do. A small amount of ghee. I'm going to add a little bit more. I need like a tablespoon. I don't know what I was thinking the first time. But I'm going to turn this burner back on, and we're just going to really saute these and try to get even more of the moisture out of the mushrooms. It's been just about 8 minutes or so. The mushrooms, obviously steam is coming off of them, but a lot of the liquid has cooked out of the mushrooms. And you can see that we're starting to stick to the bottom of the pan. Nothing is really necessarily together. Like for a while there, it kind of congealed into like one pretty decent mass, but now it's coming apart again, which I think is what it was talking about in the book. So we have this on. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of Madeira. This is the Madeira I'm using. Same as we used last time. I'm just going to eyeball 1/4 of a cup, and we're going to go ahead and cook all of that out. We're really going for flavor here, not necessarily moisture. I'm going to call these mushrooms done, and I'm going to go ahead and stick them in this bowl. Get that in there. Just make a huge mess, but that's okay. Try to scrape up as many of these mushrooms as I can because I spent a long time mincing them. I don't want to lose it. Okay. So there's that. I'm going to go ahead, take my fork, and just kind of scrape off what I can. Okay, so we've got our mushrooms. Now we need to add pate to this. And it was something I originally wasn't going to do, but I stopped by the fresh market on my way from back home from dance class, and this is the pate I have. It's a Scholler and Weber gold medal pate. There were only so many options. I guess I can kind of try to scoot that off of the burner for a little bit, get it less hot. But yeah, this is our pate we're going to use. I'm going to go ahead and cut it and then squeeze all this in here. This is a 7-ounce bar, I guess, of pate. And we need 6 to 7 ounces. So I'm just going to use this whole thing. Actually, yeah, I have a knife right here. I'm going to use it. Never mind. I won't cut it. We'll just, with scissors, we'll do it this way. Ew. Okay. And you know what I'm going to do? Probably the grossest thing. But I'm just going to squeeze it out. Because what we need to do is we're going to add some salt and pepper in here. And then I don't really eat pate. So it's not something I'm super familiar with. I've had it before, but it's not like I seek out pate. So this is just an interesting thing, but we're going to add some pepper. I'm going to add some salt. I just have some regular allspice here. It says a pinch of allspice. So there we go. That's close enough to a pinch. I was going to use sage, but I couldn't find it. I must have used the last of it on something else. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour in some thyme. It says a 1/2 teaspoon. That's probably more than that, but that's okay. And we're just going to mix this together. And this is going to make, like, ideally a paste for the inside of our ham. And I know, I maybe should have used less of the pate to the mushrooms, but look, it is what it is. If I was more committed, I would have used all the mushrooms, but I could not be bothered to mince any more mushrooms. So, is the ham we're using. We're just using a classic smoked deli ham. The only problem is it is pre-sliced already, but I couldn't find one that wasn't. You can see it's about $15 for how many pounds? 3 pounds. So this is our ham. What we're supposed to be doing is, oh, this isn't pre-sliced. Oh, perfect. I thought it was. I saw the ridges. I thought it was. Oh, this is awesome. This is even better. Okay. So we're just going to make slices in our ham, kind of 2/3 of the way down. We don't want to go all the way through because what we're doing is, oh, well, I did that poorly. That's okay. If we just do better than that, it'll be fine. But we're going to be stuffing our pate mixture in between all of the layers. And so I'm going to take this, bring this over, and we're just going to stuff it in between the slices, which sounds and honestly looks kind of gross, but this is the recipe, and that's why, we're just kind of seeing what it does. Never, like I said in the beginning, I've never done anything like this, but this seemed almost kind of like a play on a little bit of a Beef Wellington. So yeah, we're just gonna stuff this in here. Okay, so here we go. We're back with our bowl with the sauteed onions and carrots. I'm gonna go ahead and stick in our ham, and then I guess I'll get a paper towel because to wipe my hands. And I guess to not miss any of this, I'm just gonna plop this on top. That's not in the recipe, that's just me doing it. Now I'm gonna turn my burner back on, but we need about 2 cups of Madeira and 3 cups of stock. We're not going to be able to fit all of that in here, nor do I think we really want it. But we are just going to put this in here, bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to cover it and stick it in the oven. So I'm just kind of going to pour in some Madeira, and then I'm using beef stock that I've had. Should probably make sure I don't have an open one already. No. Okay, great. We did use all of that. And then I'm just going to finish this off with beef stock. And I don't think we're supposed to go all the way up the sides of the bowl on this one. So I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it right about there. And then I am going to get our herbs ready. We need a bay leaf and we need parsley and some thyme. So I'm just going to, there's 2 bay leaves. That's what came out. I've got my thyme that I'm just kind of going to sprinkle around. I don't have fresh parsley. I just have some pre-dried parsley, but I'm just going to liberally sprinkle it in. And then we're going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to cover it and then stick it in the oven. So I guess a little shaggy, but so is that other one kind of. Like it was sticky, but I feel like I also kind of had the same problem where it like wanted to break, but that's okay. We're gonna, I think this is really what we want. it forms into a ball and it's not breaking anymore. Well, breaking apart. It's still breaking, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to leave this there, and we're going to put this in the fridge, and it's just about time for the ham to come out. I've been baking it for about an hour and a half. That, you can go ahead and take the top off. Okay. Interesting. um, you know, it baked weird because that's how the top of the pan is. It's a little higher than the pot I have, but sure. I guess. I have no idea. But like I said, we're going to let this cool for about an hour, and then we'll wrap it in pastry dough and cook that. So we're back. Our ham has been sitting for about an hour. This is what it looks like. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our dough. I'm going to take about half of it. I'm just going to squish it that way. Really scientific, I know. And I'm just going to knead this on the cutting board for a little bit. And basically what we're going to do, this has you cover the ham in kind of an interesting way. You basically cover from the bottom half, like you do like a bottom layer, roll up, and then you cover with the top half. So that's what we're going to do. I'm thinking that this dough might be a little dry, but I'm just going to knead it some more and hope that it kind of comes together. Okay, I guess I'll move that back for a little bit for now. Because we want to roll this big enough so that the ham sits on it. You also want like a thinner dough. And if we don't have enough, we don't have enough. You know, it's definitely cracking, so it's not going to be perfect. But we're just going to try our best with this one. I don't know what I've gotten myself into. Like I said, I have literally never seen anything prepared. The ham, I've never seen prepared this way. I've only, I guess, Beef Wellington, but even that I would presume is a little different. This is definitely going to crack when I take it up, but oh well. I'm going to pick up my ham that definitely fell apart a little bit and just stick it on. Maybe try to add that back in. Add that in. And then this is the part I don't really understand, but maybe you know what? We're going to try something. I'm going to egg wash the outside. I don't know if it really says that, but I'm going to egg wash the outside and try to stick it up the sides. It's really this part of the ham that's going to be the problem child, but it might just have to stay out. I'm going to go ahead and egg wash. Honestly, I'm going to egg wash all of this, which might defeat the purpose, but I'm not really sure where anything's going to stick, and I was going to egg wash the top anyways, so let's do that for now. And try to lift this in as much of one piece as possible, which didn't work because I don't really have the best surface, but that's okay. And then okay, well, we have some of it. Look, it's not pretty. Okay, so here's what our ham looks like. Oh, it looks so bad. Oh well. I've got my egg wash. I'm just gonna egg wash the top of this. This is definitely an error of we had too little dough and too big of a ham, even though I thought we'd be okay. But we're not. And maybe I should have put this part, like, kind of trussed it back together, but it's too late now. This is where we're at. It's not even fully covered on all the sides. There's cracks. This is going to be really interesting to see if it even holds. But we're going to put this in the oven for about 30 minutes. So I've cleaned up a little bit. I've turned this burner on. I went ahead and took a couple tablespoons of the juices out of the pot, and I'm going to add a couple tablespoons of arrowroot to this. And I'm realizing I did this backwards. I should have added the arrowroot first and then the stock, but hey, it is what it is. And we're just going to whisk that together and make a mess while doing so, but that's okay. We've added a little too much, but whatever. We're kind of following the recipe. We're kind of not at this point. So it did say to take the braising liquids and add arrowroot to it. But I think it wanted you to use a couple tablespoons of stock for this part, whereas I'm just using the arrowroot. So we're going to get this nice and hot. Okay, so we got it. It's getting to a boil. Yes, I kept all the vegetables and everything in it. I'm too tired to do anything, so I'm just going to add this arrowroot in there. Set that to the side, and I'm just going to stir this. And hopefully, as it boils, it thickens, and we can get like a nice sauce out of this. So this is what it looks like out of the oven. Let's see. You can kind of see our egg wash didn't quite work, but it has a nice crust to it. It's soft. It didn't get hard, so not sure what that's about, but it stayed mostly together how we had it. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead, cut a slice, and get this together. So here's what the final piece looks like. I did have trouble cutting it apart. All of it, the dough did not stay together. So do I know what this is supposed to be like? No. It's definitely ugly. But you know, it's something new, something different. I'm going to go ahead and kind of cut off a couple pieces of ham. I've got the sauce on there. That's just the roasting liquid. I'm going to go ahead, see if I can get a bite with some. Okay, so here's our bite. We've got a piece of ham. It's got some of the foie gras mushroom on it. We have a bit of the pastry crust. It's got the sauce on it. I mean, really, the flavor's not bad at all. I think it's a little salty. I think it could be me. Maybe what I'm tasting is the pate. I didn't try it by itself, so I don't really know what that tastes like. And that might be kind of the interesting undertone that I'm tasting. It's not bad, but it's not a flavor I'm used to. We'll put it that way. I think overall, I'd probably give this one maybe like a 6.5. It's not that it wasn't bad, but it was just a lot of work for kind of okay. Just like something that was okay. Like maybe if I didn't have to mince the mushrooms, and if the crust had worked a little better, I think it would score higher. Because like I said, the taste isn't bad. The sauce is good. I like ham, so ham's good. The stuffing, I think, is where the interesting part comes from, but that's because of the pate, which could just be personal. I don't really know. Would I recommend this one? No. Am I happy I tried it? Yes. Will I ever make a beef Wellington? More than likely not, based solely on the fact that I do not want to chop and mince mushrooms. But that's it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.